Hello and welcome back to the Sam Beast YouTube channel. My name is David.foxen, and as the hoodie says, we are a go for everything you need for your Amdb in relation to mobiles and tablets. Okay, so if you were lucky enough to join us on our previous datasets for your asset management database, where we looked at your desktops and laptops, then you'll see there are a lot of similarities when we're looking at mobiles and tablets as well. We're going to go through these anyway, and then we'll look at the key ones that are related to mobiles and tablets only. Now, remember, these are the core ones that I'd be looking for if I was implementing an Amdb. You can always add on your own ones depending on what your organization's like and what your ITAM requirements are like. But these are just the core ones. So if there's anything missing, please let us know, or anything that you'd add that adds value into your ITAM function. So let's get straight in then to the different data sets that we're looking at. So the first ones then that we are looking at are your manufacturer, who makes the mobile or tablet that you're providing, the model details. Now, with mobiles and tablets, the model can actually be one of the more challenging things to try and find out. Depending on the manufacturer, they may be really easy and tell you that it's an Apple iPhone 12, 64 gig or whatever it may be. But with other people like Samsung, there may just be like a model code that you have to then Google to understand whether it's a Galaxy S10 or Galaxy S20 Ultra or whatever it may be. Some Amdbs, if you've done your model table mapping, will kind of replicate the model name into what it really is, the friendly name, if you like, automatically. But if you haven't already do that, I would highly recommend just doing a quick bit of Googling on the product or model codes so that you can then understand what the friendly name is for that and make sure that's replicated in your Amdb. There's nothing worse than if you're looking to do some reporting on your mobiles and tablets, seeing all these SM-12345s and going, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what model that is, if that's a tablet, if it's a mobile, what is it? So just maybe spend a bit of time at the beginning here to save yourself some pain moving forward in the future. Next up, we have the serial number of the mobile or tablet, along with the asset tag that you provisioned to that device. This is obviously the sticker that you put onto it. You may decide that you don't want to asset tag mobiles and tablets. If that's the case, that's your call. You can leave this field blank, but if you are asset tagging your mobile devices, put the asset tag information into your Amdb. Next up, we have one that is unique to mobiles and tablets, and that is called the IMEI number. Now, this is typically between a 14 and a 16-digit character that is so unique to that device it is unreal. There are so many benefits to understanding and tracking your IMEI data for your mobiles and tablets, and we'll go over that in fact in our next video. We'll go through why an IMEI number is important and why ITAM should care about it alongside the serial number. But in essence, you do need your serial number and your IMEI number. They are both giving you different bits of information. And as you go through the life cycle and the management of your mobiles and tablets, both have their own purpose and their own value to tracking and monitoring. The IMEI number is really useful for information security as well, and your mobile device management team. So, track both the serial number and the IMEIs. And our next video is explaining why and the importance of doing that. We also have the mobile network carrier. This is, again, an optional one, but something I like to put in there, whether that's with Verizon, AT&T, EE, Vodafone, whoever it may be. Who is your provider for that? You may have a decentralized mobile provider contract relationship. I don't know. Typically, when you go into an organization, they have one single mobile provider, but hey, everyone's different. Every organization's different. Everyone has different mobile contracts, so hey, the Amdb caters for all, okay? It caters for everyone. Next up, we have two really important ones. This is the assigned user and the most frequent user. You probably remember these from the desktops and laptops Amdb datasets. Exactly the same parameters here. We want to know who we physically assign the mobile or tablet to against who's using it. If there's any discrepancies, why? Why is Steve in accounting not using the mobile that we've provisioned him? Why is Shelley in accounting now using it? Has he not followed the right process? Brought it back if he no longer requires it and just re-provisioned it to his colleague without following the correct process? Really good, easy, auditable fields. Also, then got the user's location, the user's department, the user's cost center. more user-based information. If your Amdb is mature and you're using something like a ServiceNow or an Avanti or a Landesk or whatever, and you've got the HR user information plugged into there, this can be automatically populated, or you can do it yourself manually. Next up, we have more procurement information. So I'm looking for the purchase date, I'm looking for the purchase cost, I'm looking for the invoice reference, I'm looking for a PO, whatever that proves to me that this organisation has purchased this mobile or this tablet, when we bought it, and how much we purchased it for. All this information then is really useful for managing the scheduled retirement dates, for example, the depreciation values, the depreciation dates, all the other bits that are also in there that we're requiring. They can all be automatically filtered from that purchase date, so it's really handy to have it. Or you can manually calculate, right, purchase date, our scheduled retirement date is then going to be 4 years on from that. Our depreciation value is going to be straight line depreciation 3 years from the purchase date. It's just such a simple bit of information, but when you're managing the life cycle of these mobiles and tablets, it's just so crucial and critical, and it's almost a key to unlocking loads of other data sources that are really relevant and useful for having. We've got some scanned information in there as well. When the device was last seen, this can go into your under investigation process if it hasn't been seen for 30 plus days. Why? Is it not being used? If not, let's get it back and let's re-provision it and reuse it. Also got the state and sub-states. Is it in use? Is it in stock? Is it pending disposal, pending repairs, etc.? Again, just really information for ITAM to have to do any reporting on and manage the asset throughout its life cycle. Stockroom, again, when you're doing your stock management stuff, which stockroom is it in? Where is it? How many do we have in stock? Again, with the global pandemic and the increased cases in COVID, once again, even though we're in, when this video goes out, 2022, the cases are going up again. Stock management's really important for knowing what you can provision and what you can't provision to support the working from home. Next up, we are looking at the warranty expiry date and the vendor's end of life date. Again, the warranty expiry date can be automatically populated from the purchase date. It's typically a 1 or a 3 year warranty for mobile devices, depending on the manufacturer. And also then the vendor's end of life. There are a lot of plugins that you can have with various different sources that gives you the end of life data for certain models. However, it may be a case that you're going to have to go out and Google it. And it may even be the case that the vendor themselves haven't given an end of life date yet because the model is so new. You are at the bleeding edge of technology. You are buying the newest and the best, and the vendor hasn't even considered whether they're going to be retiring it yet. That's absolutely fine. If this is the case, please feel free to leave that field blank. We're now looking at the end of life information that's really important to capture for mobiles and tablets devices as you're managing the asset throughout its life cycle and reaching the end, sad times, of what is that? I'm not going to sleep. I mean, sad times. Oh, dear. Reaching the end of the asset's life cycle. And that is obviously the retired date when you formally retired the asset internally, and then the disposal date when you formally no longer essentially owned the asset, passed it on to your disposal or IT asset disposition company, and they recycled it or destroyed it for you. Once you've got the disposal date and the retired date, next up you're looking for that disposal reference. This is again the identifier. Typically, if you've got multiple assets that you're sending off for disposal, they'll give you a disposal reference for all of them. Just to add that into your asset management database to close off that area, and it's also really good then to have for internal and external audit purposes. This shows that you are tracking the asset throughout its life cycle, all the way from request through procurement, through its life, active life, right the way through to when you're disposing of it, and you're getting all that information for your ITAM reporting. We're also looking for a data destruction reference. Now, this is kind of less important for mobiles and tablets because there's a lot of amazing tools that your organisation may already have that can completely wipe the device. But if you do not have these kind of technologies, you can get your third-party disposal or ITAM company to do that for you. And whenever they run the software, they typically get a unique identifier to say that it's run successfully and that all data has been forensically wiped from your mobile or your tablet. If they can't do that, then the only option, unfortunately, is to destroy the device. This is typical for desktops and laptops. Laptops in particular is the hard drive. If things like Blanco can't work correctly, they will go and crush the hard drive. For phones, again, like I said, the technology is a lot better for wiping everything out. And you can get the support of your carrier, and even you can lock the IMEI number as well, so that data can absolutely never be accessed. The phone can never be accessed. Which is another reason why you should watch the upcoming video about the IMEI stuff, because it's really interesting stuff in there and how that can support your end of life as well. Finally, you may not be going down the route of disposing of the asset. You might be donating it. And if you are, it's great to have that donation reference in the Amdb. Again, keeps it all tidy, keeps it all neat, shows again that you're proactively managing the end of life. Or you may not be disposing of it, you may be recycling it, or you have a mature IT asset disposition process. Now, I'd be looking for the value that you got back for that asset. So if it's in good condition, it was a grade A, you got £100 or $100 back for it, put that information into the Amdb. That's fantastic for when you're doing your reporting as well, whether that be monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly, yearly, or whatever, on how much rebate you have got back through IT asset disposition. You can look at all asset types in that case, but if you wanted to break it down into mobiles and tablets, put in that rebate value in there. Is a fantastic KPI and a fantastic metric to show that your end of life and your ITAD is working correctly. And finally, one that we mentioned previously when we were talking about the purchase cost, but we're looking at the depreciation method and the depreciation value. Now, typically for mobile phones, the depreciation method is straight line 3 years. So the same is taken off every month over 3 years. There's a link to my depreciation video in the comments below. Have a look to understand more about ITAM depreciation values. And then obviously the other bit you want to know is how much remaining value does the asset have? Really important if you're doing optimization opportunities or if you're having to write assets off because they've been lost or stolen. You know how much that asset is worth still to your organization internally. So you can report upwards to say, look, the assets that we've lost is worth this amount, or the assets that we've managed to recycle and reuse out to users was worth this amount. Therefore, maybe your ITAM team can claim that as cost avoidance if your hierarchy are nice and will let you claim that kind of thing as an ITAM benefit and to show the value of ITAM. So that is everything, all of the core stuff anyway that you need for your mobiles and tablets when you're looking at your asset management database. I hope you find it useful. Next up, we will be looking at servers and network assets as well. And also we'll be doing a video about why the IMEI numbers is so important when managing mobile and tablet devices throughout their life cycle. So yeah, really hope you enjoyed it. As always, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more than these. I really appreciate it and it helps the channel massively. And otherwise, we shall see you next time here at the Sam Beast YouTube channel.